So, it's Monday, which means a new Deepwoken content update came out. Let's see what it is. Shit! Okay. No, seriously though, I don't think the Deepwoken content update was really that bad. I mean, honestly, I like the addition of the talents, especially the fire and lightning talents. We're actually going to get something where Arc Warder may have a new path. I don't know what it is. I haven't checked it out yet. I really don't use Rapier, so I'm gonna see if I can get some clips of people doing that, maybe showcase it here. The blacksmith UI update seems pretty alright. And merchant robes now give merchants a core talent. I don't know what that might be. They added 3 Terran and 3 Chrysid faces. I don't have slots that have either of those. And they added mystics as point of interests and added points of interest at Castle Light. Although I thought points of interest were already at Castle Light, I may have been tripping. I could have sworn I saw some last night. And they added the actual attribute unbounds. Now I think this is the biggest part and the best part about this update, because I'd say one of the most annoying things, especially about making PvE builds, is having to uncap some of these core attributes constantly. I mean, I made 3 PvE builds, I think in the span of like 4 days, because the first PvE build I made didn't have some of the talents. The second one I made wiped in layer 2, floor 2. And well, the last one I finally got it right and I just finished it yesterday. So I'm probably gonna end up having to make a new slot where I actually get these permanent unlocks for my whole account, so that way I don't have to worry about, you know, getting each and every single one of them, which means I'll probably end up wiping one of my slots and doing that today actually. And also beating any major boss now uncaps your weapon stat. So that is also pretty good, because I have to say, although the Vigils quest isn't that bad, I mean, you just give the dude a Galestone and, you know, you just head over to Vigils, talk to the people, and then whatever. And if you have a guild base, you can reset to wherever you were going to go. Like, whenever I'm going to uncap my weapon, I typically just go straight to Duke and start getting Bell, which is at like power 16 or maybe power 18. And also beating Chaser or Ferryman now uncaps your element as well as the Duke. I feel like beating Chaser and Ferryman, I feel like beating Chaser is more relevant than beating the Ferryman, because you're really only ever doing Ferryman for his drops, especially if it's like a Cerulean dagger or maybe even if it's outfit. But realistically speaking, I don't really hear people talk about doing Ferryman that much unless you need one of those things, because his bell prog isn't really that good, his loot isn't really that good. I mean, he just gives you a bunch of earrings most of the time. And there have been cases where I've gotten some good earrings, you know, some decent stat earrings, but it's really, I could get those really anywhere, and if I really needed to do it, of course I'd head over, but it's all the way in Voidsea, out in the Eastern Luminant, so it's not really a fun drive anyway. Here's Guard snipers deal reduced damage. Now this is a big issue, because I know the worst things that everybody experienced is the most fearful thing about floor 2 is, it's 2 things. It's the Ethiron one-shot ball.
2, 3. No. It went for me.
Getting hit by that, and then it's escaping floor 2, running through those gates, and the first thing you see is those 4 Guard snipers throwing their spears at you. And if one of those hits you, you're stuck in an infinite loop basically. And it's over if that brute walks over to you. If he gets any near you, if he gets any close to you, your build is wiped. It's always wiped. Wind up now executes mobs when it knocks them. I think this will be more relevant for slots. I don't really see wind up being used, but I feel like doing this, they're trying to, you know, make the bell, I guess, better, or at least increase its chance of being seen in deep. Because I don't think I've seen a wind up bell user since really before layer 2. Like, I rarely ever run into anybody who has unironically picked that bell. Wind up now executes unconscious enemies at 3 wind ups or more. I don't know if that's talking about maybe you know, players as well, or if it's just talking about enemies in general, or maybe, you know, like NPCs, if you don't have the auto grip talents, maybe let's say you're running a hero blade or a light's final toll, something like that. And wind up now knocks back enemies that parry it. That's good and bad, because I don't know if wind up gave end lag after they hit that you wound up on, But if it did, I think this would be nice as creating space, so that way the bell isn't just useless in a PvP setting. And it also increased its damage bonus, which I think is really nice. Now, the Dark Receiver talents now steal some tempo from your links. I think that's really good for both Thundercall and Shadowcast. I believe that's what it's for. If I'm not mistaken, it's the static links that you get from having Lightning Stream, and then, or not even, well, yeah, you can have Lightning Stream when you do it, but typically you just get it and then you get Shadowcast too. So I think that's nice. Ice Chain now applies bottom freeze on hit. Nobody's using that mantra. I hate to break it to you Deepwoken devs, but nobody's gonna use Ice Chain. And if somebody is unironically using Ice Chain, then good for them. But I don't see Frostjaw users use Ice Chain, because I don't see Frostjaw users really use anything besides Ice Daggers, Ice Lance, and Crystal Impale. So there's that. Protagonist Syndrome. Now this is the big stuff, right? This is what I was sitting in general even when I got home, and I see everybody just getting angry, just having a fit over these nerfs. Protagonist Syndrome no longer gives 5 HP. Absolute Radiance no longer gives 5 HP. Now, don't get me wrong, Dawnwalker does not have the greatest talents in regards of anything else except for Shadowcast. However, the mantras, or at least Radiant Kick, the mantra, that one mantra, still feels like it's enough to keep Dawnwalker at the top. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Silent Heart's a good oath. I know Arc Warder is a great oath right now. But with the way on how Dawnwalker can be used, on how it's so flashy and glowy, you're losing out on 10 HP from those two talents, which technically can be a maker or breaker in some builds. Like that 10 HP can save you in some fights. But at the exact same time, if you're getting Dawnwalker, you're normally making a Metamancer build, which is already balanced in both getting health and damage output, min-maxing your talents to ensure that you are either build carried or your skill now matches the build that you're using. Not saying that you're still being build carried, but that you're actually using a build that allows you to put your skills out to the fullest. Angle Cutter cooldown was increased from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. 4 seconds to 5 seconds, it doesn't feel like that long, especially since even when I be fighting my friends Silent Heart builds and they use Ankle Cutter, it feels like they're able to just M1, roll cancel, try another M1, and if I parry, they could just back up and then Ankle Cutter again. So maybe that extra 1 second may make the difference. Now, Return of the Dark Ages no longer reduces damage from Haunted Gale. I don't know why they did that, because although it does sound kind of broken, it's still an elemental thing. So for them to make it so that Haunted Gale no longer receives reduced damage from it, I mean, I would understand if it's like, oh well, burn procs deal less damage, don't deal less damage with Return of the Dark Ages, and Shadowcast procs don't have much of an effect. But if those are still the case, if that's still the case, then this is just an indirect buff for Gale Breath, and Haunted Gale hurts. And the last thing is Arc Suit's cooldown now scales with this duration. Now this one was the one that hurt me the most, simply because I have a build on Arc Warder. Now I feel like whenever I use that build, I definitely am build carried, because I min-maxed the out of that build. I mean, I love that build. It is fun. I think it's one of the most fun builds that I have right now. And especially with the new the Fire Lightning talent, Scorched Peak, whichever that is, I need to figure that out. I'm looking forward to re-rolling some talents and seeing if I could get that. But yeah, overall, I don't think this update was mid. I mean, obviously it's not a big content update. It's not a huge content update with a whole bunch of bug fixes or even content and systems. But the Unbound unlocks was really nice. Them adding the new cosmetic details to the game is definitely gonna make things a whole lot easier. Basically, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all later.